Imagine that you're in your early 20s and that you discover by chance and by circumstance that your father is famed actor Clark Gable. Now, all your life until that moment, you believed that you were the adopted daughter of actress Loretta Young, when in fact, you are her biological daughter. You are the love child of these two celebrated stars. Does this sound incredible, unbelievable? Well, it is all of those things. It is also the story of my next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Judy Lewis.
Hi,
Judy.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
You ever look like your mom? Whoa, holy cow.
Thank you.
We need a long staircase and you can come down in a big dress.
I'll let her do that.
Tell us how you discovered in your early 20s, how you came upon this information.
Well, as I think you already said, I thought I was an adopted child. And so I was 23 and I was about to be married. And I said to my fiance, I can't marry you. I don't know who I am. I don't know who my father is. I don't know who my mother is. And I want children and you want children and I know nothing about me. And he said, very lovingly, he said, well, I know everything there is to know about you. And I said, you do? And he said, yes, it's common knowledge. Your father is Clark Gable.
That was the first time?
Yes.
And everybody knew?
Everybody knew.
And nobody ever told you?
No, I know. Everybody finds that really incredible. No, all my friends knew.
Did you believe him when he said that?
Yes. But until my mother told me herself, I really couldn't believe it.
How long between these two events?
A long time. I didn't have the courage to go to my mother. I instead went to my priest who was marrying us, and I said, I've just been told that my father's Clark Gable, and I'm going to ask my mother. And he said, no, don't. She won't tell you. And so it took quite a while. I was married to Joe, and I did have my daughter, and then I went into therapy, and it was probably 8, 10 years later.
Before you confronted
Before
your mom?
I confronted my mother, yes.
It must have eaten your heart, not all the time, but every once in a while you must have gone through such anguish. It's like, wait a minute,
well,
who,
I did.
where?
Yes, I did.
And how did you find, what finally happened when you...
Well, it was the work of a very good psychologist. I finally decided that I could no longer, live with this not knowing for sure. And I was on a soap opera in New York, and I had 5 days in between shows, so I got on a plane and I flew to Los Angeles. My mother was leaving for Europe, so I knew I wouldn't see her for about a year. And so I confronted her directly, and I said, is my father Clark Gable? And she said, yes, he is. And then it was then that I heard the whole story of my birth and the secrecy involved in it, and
Tell
the
us
rest
that
of the
story.
story. All right, okay. My mother and father met on location when they were doing Call of the Wild, and there was a snowstorm for a very long time. They got to know each other very well, and I was the result of that film. He was married at the time, and my mother...
You were the Call of the Wild.
I was the Call of the Wild. It's been wild ever since, too, Dini.
How old was your mom at this point?
She was 22.
And your dad?
33, I think, something like that. He
And
was
married?
Yeah, and married,
And
yes.
both Catholic?
They were, yes, indeed. In those days, it was much different than it is today. Everybody stars can have children out of wedlock, and they're welcomed into the community, and their pictures are taken, and there's no problem.
This is my child.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and everybody's happy. In the 30s, it would have destroyed both of their careers. My mother was single, my father was married, and they had to hide my mother's pregnancy. So she went right into another film. He separated from Rhea after they finished Call of the Wild, kept trying to see her, be
Rhea
close
being
to
his
her.
wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
So he
you.
separated from his wife, and your
right.
mother's off doing a film, but they
Right.
never get together,
They
really.
never quite get together, and every time he tries to get close to her, she says, go away, don't let anybody see us together. She was just terrified that her pregnancy would be, become known, and their careers would be destroyed.
But if he left his wife, why didn't she force him to marry her and try to fix it all? One of those unresolved questions of life.
Indeed.
Okay.
So she went to Europe for a vacation, and then snuck back into Los Angeles and went to a small home in Venice, California that she and my grandmother owned together, and I was born there in Venice. And she told my father that I was sent out of town, that I was not there to be seen. He knew of my birth and wanted to see me. And finally she saw him at a party one night when I was about 6 months old and said, oh, you know, it's his daughter too. So she said to him, do you want to see her? And he said, yes, of course I want to see her. So he did visit me in that house in Venice. And then he visited me twice, I think she told me. And then she sent me to an orphanage in San Francisco. And when I was 19 months old, announced to the world through Louella Parsons, who was at the time a very powerful columnist in Hollywood, that she had adopted 2 little girls. There were no 2 little girls. I was the one little girl, and a biological mother really can't adopt her own child. So that is how she brought me into her home as
The other little girl never appeared. You were the
Never
only
appeared, right. There were no 2 little girls.
If I ask you, you know the game they play, black, white? I say black, you say white?
Yes.
If I say black, you say?
White.
I say Loretta Young.
Clark Gable.
I say mother.
Loretta Young.
I say childhood.
Sad.
Your relationship with your mother was?
Delicate at best. She was she was at the beginning of the height of her career, and I was a liability to her. She took a terrible risk bringing me into her home as her child. I had my father's ears, enormous ears. Just, whoa, you know. No cartilage. They were there.
The Clark Gable ears.
Yes.
We
and
laugh now.
They were not pretty.
Yeah.
And so I wore bonnets as a youngster, as a little girl, you see. So here I am, this very, I think, pretty child with big eyes and these enormous ears.
Imagine the terror in your mother's heart.
Exactly.
My
exactly.
God, did she have to have those ears?
Right.
Please, you know.
That's exactly.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
So.
She hid you away. She tried to keep you.
She did indeed.
And that caused a distance between you?
She was very busy. She was a movie star.
She was a huge star.
A huge star. And in those days, you know, the film studios were turning out films one right after another. She was under contract. She was making 6 films a year. There was no time for anything else but making movies. So when I saw my mother, it was at, you know, very short intervals at a time. And I had wonderful nannies, but I didn't have access to my mother. Much.
We're going to take a break. Not all stories have happy endings. I don't think you've spoken with your mother in how many years now?
8 years.
In 8 years.
Yes.
To find out why, you'll have to come back right after this and join Judy Lewis to hear more from her novel, Uncommon Knowledge. When you discovered the truth, you were how old? 20?
Let me see, 23.
23.
Yes.
Judy Lewis discovers when she's 23 that she is she was not adopted. She was adopted by Loretta Young, but she really was Loretta Young's biological daughter, and her father was Clark Gable. You confront your mother. Now, you and your mother have not spoken for 8 years. There's no communication at all.
None.
Why?
And Dini, I don't want to correct you, but I have to. I was never adopted by my mother.
Oh, she never actually adopted you?
No, she can't, you see. There's no adoption papers, nothing.
Except you tell me on the birth certificate she put Margaret Young, which wasn't
Right.
her. So
That's
if Loretta
right.
Young went in and said, well, I'll adopt her, oh, what a coincidence, we have the last same name, who'd know?
Well, you still can't adopt your own biological daughter.
True. Okay.
See?
She's your mom.
Exactly.
So your mom admits to you that this is all true.
Right.
But so why haven't you spoken in 8 years? Where did the great rift come?
Well, when she told me this story, it was between us. It was private. It was, now we could talk about it.
A family matter.
It was a family matter. I still had to keep a secret. And
Clark Gable never talked to you before his death.
I never knew
nothing.
he was my father.
He never left you a letter.
He died,
never
nothing. I didn't know he was my father until many years after his death. I did have one meeting with him. He did come to the house when I was 15, and I spent several hours with him. And it was, you know, bittersweet now that I know the truth, because I didn't know he was my father and he knew I was his daughter. So what I knew was I was spending 2 hours with Clark Gable, who was really interested in me and what my life was like and who I was seeing and what I was doing. That much I knew and felt. And I do remember the kiss on the forehead that he gave me before he left. But I didn't know he was my father.
So Mother's told you this, it's a family secret, but it has not stayed a family secret. I gather that's why she's not talking to you.
I wrote the book.
Yeah. Why did you, why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Everybody asks me.
Well, it's a pretty valid question.
It is, indeed it is.
I mean, if I was your mom,
yeah,
and this had happened, and you wrote the book, I'd be some upset.
Oh, I know.
I'd say, honey, look.
I know. You didn't keep this secret.
This is family stuff.
Right.
What does it matter to us, the world?
Okay. Okay. It's very hard to understand unless you've been in somebody's shoes and body and soul and mind, what it is like not being acknowledged by your own parent. It's a great deal of pain. And I wrote the book to claim my identity.
My God, I am this child. I am their daughter.
I am me. I am part of this woman and part of this man, and this is who I am. And really, the mother in me had to acknowledge the child in me. That was also part of writing the book. I had to be acknowledged.
The other thing I don't think I understand is why would your mother care now? As we started, you said, then you couldn't do that.
Right.
These days, who cares?
I know.
Everybody loves your mom. We still love her. How tragic for both of you, but we love, come on, Loretta, it's okay.
I know. I don't know why still to this day, a month ago even, she was quoted as saying it was a rumor in those days, people wish to believe it for their own reasons, and I give it no further credence.
Now
This is her choice, you see.
Is there a way to prove definitively this for, I don't know for what reason, or even if you'd want to, but Clark Gable has a son.
Yes, indeed he does.
There is a way of proving through DNA, which they accept in the courts. If a woman says, this man is the father of my child, they take a blood sample, and the blood will tell you. Being the son of Clark Gable, it could be, his DNA with his father's can be established. If we take your blood and his, can we not then go, see, look, Mom, you can't deny it anymore?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's not necessary. If I found it necessary, I wouldn't hesitate.
So why do you think your mother would deny it? I mean, you knew this woman. What do you think she's doing?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. Do you understand this woman?
Yes, I do.
But not this part.
But not this part. This makes no sense to me. Why carry on a facade and a secret and a lie? You see, I have a daughter and I have 2 grandsons. Right. My grandsons have the right to know their heritage. Right. I had the greatest joy in the world when I was able to buy my first grandson a grandmother book and write the family tree for him. I never had a family tree. I couldn't do it for me. I can for him. It's vitally important that the lie and the secret does not carry down through the generations. My daughter had a right to know who her grandfather was,
Given that, your mom doesn't get presented here, and we're not going to give her the Mother of the Year award after the book. Good housekeeping is going to say,
well, there were a few mistakes she made, but, some mothers make some mistakes and some make others.
Make mistakes.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I have too. I'm a mom. Yeah. We're all human.
The last thought that went through my mind was, you said, it's hard for me to understand, for a lot of us to understand why people write these books, but you said something in the beginning of this conversation that really impacted on me. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be in my 20s and find out that everybody knew but me, and I have not been acknowledged publicly as your daughter or his. Fine. I need that. I understand that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
No entitlement at all. I had no rights.
Well, speaking of rights, do you get anything from the Clark Gable estate?
Nothing. Nor do I intend to do anything.
The way things are going,
about
nothing
it.
from the Loretta Young estate either. Yeah.
I'm afraid so, Dini.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we'll sell a lot of these books.
This is my heritage, guys.
It's been a great pleasure meeting you. I have to tell you again, you're an extraordinarily beautiful woman.
Thank
you got the best of both of them.
I did indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dini.
It's been a real pleasure. Judy Lewis.